Hello, welcome, Tomo.
Hi, thank you, Dr. Golsa. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for accepting my invitation. I'm really looking forward to this conversation. For someone that doesn't know you, to the audience, how do you introduce yourself?
Yes, so my name is Tomo Marjanovic. I'm the founder and owner of Aspire Rejuvenation Clinic. It's a wellness clinic that has been around since 2019, and we are focused on preventative medicine, wellness, healthcare, anti-aging, and we look at the human as a holistic form. So we're trying to look at underlying causes of disease and aging and regeneration, and that's our focus. Really, just making people live longer and live better.
I love that. That was the reason I was really looking forward to this conversation, because our field is pretty similar, and I'm looking forward to know your perspective about the whole integrative medicine, longevity, peptide world. And I know you had like an amazing journey. You have a book, you're author.
It's a little bit of a play on words from my law enforcement career. So
I will put the link of your book on the description for anyone who is interested, but I want to learn more and hear more about your story. What happened that you ended up having a rejuvenation clinic? Because I know you started from a different background and you ended up in this field, right?
Yes, exactly. It's longevity, health, and wellness has been part of my life since a young teenager, but more for personal reasons, not for business reasons. So I started my weightlifting and bodybuilding journey at 13 years old. So quite a while ago now. So I am going to age myself a little bit. That was 28 years ago. So I've been weightlifting, bodybuilding. Yeah, I just turned 41. I turned 41 about a month ago. I started doing all of this research in wellness and health from a young age, from my own personal perspective. At 21 years old, I went to police academy, believe it or not. And I was a police officer. I did some tactical work. I worked for the federal government. I did some stuff that we can't talk about on camera with the federal government, worked with the Joint Terrorism Task Force. And while I was doing all the law enforcement stuff, I was a published fitness model and a competitive bodybuilder. So while I'm doing this one career, I'm studying really for another that I didn't even realize. And after 12 years of law enforcement career, I leave in 2018. I go and work for a different medical clinic, not the one that I own now. And I built that company. I was like a men's TRT clinic, so basically hormone clinic for men. And I built that clinic from about 700 patients to 4,000 in about 9 months. So it was just off social media. I had a good social media presence back then. If you remember the early Instagram days, everybody that was in fitness had like a fit after their name. So mine was Tomo-Fit. Hilarious, I know. So I did the social media push. I built that company up. And then some legal reasons and irreconcilable differences with the ownership, I had to leave that company. So I had to make the decision. Do I go back to law enforcement, or do I now take what I learned to love and what I'm actually good at, and do I build my own clinic? So in 2019, I started what is now known as Aspire Rejuvenation Clinic. And we started that right before the pandemic hit. So it was a wild journey. It was a wild journey, but it's all worked out. And I'm actually in my private office. My personal podcast studio is 2 rooms away over here. My medical clinic is right below me. So I was in my medical clinic all day today. We're 12 hours apart. So 8 a.m. there, I think it's 8 p.m. here. The sun's going down here. It's rising over there. So I worked in my medical clinic all day, and I'm up here doing this podcast with you now. Super happy to have the conversation and share this information with everybody, all of your audience.
I love that. Thank you so much. Such an interesting journey, to be honest. Like, I think so many people, they started from their own pain or their own journey, and after that they got into this field and they see like how it's effective. And I think that makes it even more valuable, because you're not just doing that as a sake of the business itself. You see how it can be changing lives for yourself and also like for people that you help already. So what are the things that you're doing in your rejuvenation clinic? What do you call as like some services around the longevity field, around the integrative medicine, rejuvenation?
So I look at the patient as a whole. So I'm not a medical doctor, by the way. You are a doctor. So I employ doctors. I employ mid-levels, nurse practitioners, things like that. I'm just a well-studied person. I have a lot of certifications that doctors are supposed to get. So I have a lot of these education courses that I'm not even supposed to have. I just kind of went into them, passed the tests, and I got the certifications. So when I look at anybody, I want to see what's going on internally first. So what are your labs saying? What is your genetic test saying? What is your gut health test saying? What's a nutrient and vitamin test saying? People, unfortunately, have been put into this medical place where it's a pill for every ill. It's a Band-Aid for every problem. That's mainstream medicine in general. So if you look at it from that perspective, and there's a lot of clinics that do kind of like what we do, and they behave like that, and I can't stand it because it makes the industry look exactly the same as the old industry. New age medicine, the way that I see it, is you look at the internals and you fix the underlying problem with the most minimal amounts of medication or intervention possible. So if you look at all the medication in general that people are getting prescribed, it's all for a symptom. Now, when I look at it, what are the major things that happen in the human body? What are the major signals in the body? Hormones. Makes sense to me, right? So you look at hormones like oil in a car, or like your transmission fluid or whatever. So if I don't know how old you are, you look young. So, you know, when I
29.
How old?
29.
29. So you're young. Okay, perfect. So, you know, when I was 21, right? And when you were 21, when anybody's 21, your hormones are pretty much peak, right? From those teens, early 20s. So you're that Ferrari motor. Okay. Everybody loves a Ferrari or Lamborghini, whatever your taste is. I don't care. So you're that Ferrari motor. Everything's running perfectly. Well, if you take that Ferrari motor and you take half the oil out and half the transmission fluid out, and you take all these things and you remove the things that are protective of it, it's the same thing for the human body. If you remove the hormones, if you lessen those hormones to a certain extent, what starts to happen? Wear and tear, degradation, aging. So what is anti-aging to me? It's replenishing what your body naturally has. Now we can get into the peptides and what those mean and signaling, you know, what it does in your body. And people have completely made peptides what it's not supposed to be. I've been taking peptides for 20 plus years. Okay. So since you were 9, since you were a young girl, I've been taking peptides. I was taking peptides before people knew what this stuff was. And my clinics have been prescribing peptides since 2019. But now you see this internet craze and everybody's going crazy about it. I'm like, you guys are behind. You guys are way behind. I've been doing this for years. You know what I mean? So the human body is a remarkable machine when it has the tools it needs. And without those tools, everything starts to wear down and break down. You see it postmenopausal with women. You see it now, you know, you talk about male menopause, andropause is what they call it now. So you talk about the male version of menopause. You know, they used to call it a midlife crisis. You know, the guy goes crazy. He divorces his wife of 20 years. He buys a Corvette and gets a young hot girlfriend.
Crisis.
Starts wearing too colorful of clothing. Yeah, that's what happens. Well, he's not suffering from a midlife crisis. He's suffering from a testosterone decline. That's real. That's real. Mm-hmm. And just like women that go through menopause and postmenopause, the hormone levels dip. You start to have all these different issues, and those issues are exacerbated through the aging process. All of aging literally is started with the declination of hormones, and you can prove it. It's you can see it all through the labs. So that's how I look at medicine in general. And the practitioners that we have at my clinics, you know, we're all on the same page. And I'm so happy that I have the team that I have, because a lot of mainstream medicine doesn't look at it like this. A lot of doctors, thank goodness, you know, you're a young doctor. Thankfully, you did not get brainwashed into this place where it's like, you know, oh, here's your problem, here's your pill, here's your problem, here's your pill. No, let's get to the root cause. Let's find the problem in the underlying side.
Exactly. I really love that. I have the same belief. Like, I think I blame the system more than like the doctors itself, but because doctors were trained on that system, so they learn and they are kind of forced to practice on the way that they are practicing. And so I had the chance to get out of the system, starting my self-practice and just look at everything without any perspective of before, like how it should look like. To be honest, like about peptide and stuff, I was skeptical like everyone else in the beginning, but because it's not something we train in the medical school. So when you hear something after like 7 years, 8 years of studying medicine, I'm like, oh, what's that? Like, it's something new. Why I don't know about it? And I'm a fresh graduated somehow. I'm like, why there is something that people are saying it's effective, but I don't know about it. So I had to like self-study myself, like without any like skepticism. And I was like, yeah, let's just like see that as something real. Let's see how it works. Of course, like I was very conscious in the beginning because I didn't want to hurt myself or like people that I was working with. So I was like step by step, like baby steps, but with very like, in the beginning, I was very conservative. Like I was checking lab tests every month, every 2 months. Like I had like symptom trackers to see like how people are feeling, what are the complications, and all this stuff. But somehow I'm so happy. Like I don't want to say like peptide generally. I think there is a misconception about the word peptide. So I love us to explain for people in the simple language because it's still some. Even some of my friends, they see my content, or sometimes when we have like sessions together, they are like, I think your content is a little bit like too medical or like complicated. I still don't know what's peptide. I'm like, I did my best to explain that, but maybe because I was trained on that system, I still have like some complicated medical language that in my head it's like everyone knows that, but I don't think that everyone knows it. So I just like, you have more experience than me, obviously. So I want to ask you, for someone that doesn't know anything about peptide, like if I want to explain for my grandma, for example, how would you explain peptide to me?
So basically a peptide is a signal for your body to do something. So for instance, let's talk about a peptide that actually has some approval with FDA and with in the medical space, tesamorelin. So tesamorelin was approved for belly fat loss, specifically visceral fat. But what is tesamorelin? Tesamorelin is a growth hormone secretagogue peptide. Now, don't get scared by the large word. Dr. Golsa knows what I'm saying. But a growth hormone secretagogue, what it's doing is this. And by the way, let's break down peptide real quick before I get into this. A peptide is an amino chain. It is a short amino chain. So let's think about a chain, okay? So here's a long amino chain. You know what this chain is called? It's a protein. You know what?
The big one is protein.
Yes.
Small, I always say like baby proteins. Like this is the simplest thing I can say.
It's the easiest way to explain it. So, you have a large chain of amino acids that makes a protein. You have a short chain of amino acids that makes a peptide. So knowing that, okay, are peptides natural? Yes, as amino acids are, yes, they are natural. Are they man-made? Yes, a lot of them. Are there some that are natural, based off natural occurrences in the body? Yes, absolutely. Can they be dangerous? Yes, absolutely. If you do too much or you're not properly testing labs, can they be very beneficial? Oh, yeah, absolutely. They signal your body to do something. So let's get back to tesamorelin. Tesamorelin, growth hormone secretagogue. It means it stimulates your pituitary gland, okay, a gland up in here, okay, up in your brain, your pituitary gland to release more growth hormone. So think about aging in general. Dr. Golsa is a very young 29 years old, but her growth hormone right now at this age, and she knows this, is starting to lessen more and more. That happens at about the late 20s, early 30s. When you're a ripe old man like me at 41 years old, you're definitely going to have some growth hormone deficiency. So a peptide like this is going to help you increase your natural growth hormone level. Now, what does growth hormone do? Helps you replenish cells, okay? So again, peptide signals something to happen in your body. That signal has an action. So you have to understand what the peptide is doing before you start taking it. Now, what I hate seeing happen all over the internet is some random influencer who's making a couple bucks off every sale he makes saying, I took these peptides and look at how good I look. When the guy's 21 years old, he probably never took a peptide and he couldn't even tell you what the peptide does. He just sells them because he's making money off it. These things, just like hormones, should be very closely monitored. Okay. Yeah. Now, I don't want to talk about the FDA status. I want to talk about all the nonsense and all the noise out there. I want to just talk about what the actual, medication, what the actual amino chain is doing. Those peptide signal things. Guess what else is a peptide? One of the most revolutionary ones ever. Was made almost 100 years ago. I think more, actually. Insulin. Insulin is a peptide. I know. So, people are thinking this peptide thing is new. Guys, peptides have been in medicine for decades and decades. One of the most popular peptides in the market right now, BPC 157. body protective compound 157. Everybody's like, oh, it's new. People just started taking it. It's going to cause cancer.
I think it's one of the most controversial peptides in the,
which is crazy. It was derived in my home country of Croatia almost 40 years ago, so 1980s, and it came from basically it was derived from something found in gastric juices, so it's inside your own body right now. Now, when you add it to your body, the theory and the science behind it shows that it can help with healing soft tissue damage. Cool, that's awesome. There are mechanisms that may exacerbate cancer. That's the big claim of why they're saying BPC 157 is dangerous. But it's a theory. There is zero data, zero science to prove that it can exacerbate cancer. It just could. It may, right? Mm-hmm. So a lot of the science out there that you're hearing out in the public, out in social media, that me and Dr. Golsa see all over the place, a lot of that is coming from scare tactics from big pharma and from big medicine. Exactly. A lot of these peptides have decades and decades of science and study and usage behind them, and most of them are coming from Europe, and most of them are coming from Russia. Guess what the FDA do not want to talk about? The Russian studies.
Russia. I know. Yeah.
It's like it's like we're still in the Cold War. Like, what is going on here? Share the science, at least accept it.
People always ask me, okay, I hear you that it's years and years like in the market, but why now it's getting trendy? Is it something from is there anything behind it, like people or like governments or politics or pharmaceutical, everything, like trying to push people, because people have some questions, right? People are now, especially in the world that we are leading, they are skeptical about everything, which I completely understand. But why now it's getting trendy? What is this trend that's going on? Why everyone now are looking for peptide if it was on the market for years?
I'll give you my best guess. Money. Okay. Money. The almighty powerful dollar, or wherever you are in the world, whatever your currency is, that's what it is. So, what has happened in the last, let me think, what year is it now? So what has happened in the last 6 years? In the last 6 years, we are in this post-pandemic era, okay? Yeah, so during the pandemic era, what happened? People lost all faith and trust in mainstream medicine. Yeah. So they started coming to alternative healthcare providers and clinics like mine, like yours, like many out there in the world. So they're trying to take control of their own health. Well, when people started seeing that, there was something available in the marketplace that was able to be profitable, people jump on it. And social media, that's media now, okay? So if you go back to, was it 3 years ago now, when peptides made the news for really the first time ever, and they were banned by the FDA. They were all taken off the compounding lists. I was actually in Dubai when that happened, and I was in Dubai exploring the first steps of opening my first international clinic there. So I'm in the UAE, and I see the American political system now say peptides are bad. Peptides can't be compounded. I'm like, this is madness. And I'm one of the first, not one of the first, but I'm one of the first maybe 100 clinics that are doing it at any scale. And that's why I laugh. And people are like, always talking online, there's some conspiracy theorists, this, that. I'm like, guys, just because you heard about peptides just now does not mean they're new at all. I can show you marketing. I can show you prescriptions. I can show you videos and pictures of me talking about these peptides from 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22 onwards. You guys just heard about it because a bunch of people realized that they can make a bunch of money selling, I'm sorry to say this, inferior gray market products.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
True.
90% of that market, that gray and black market, is inferior. Maybe it's the real peptide. Maybe it's the real product. But is it mycotoxin tested? Is it sterility tested? I have a horror story to tell you about somebody that did this. Came to my clinic and he was getting peptides from me. He was getting BPC 157. And we're getting it from 503A compounding pharmacies. Okay. So he's like, hey, it's getting expensive. I don't want to pay that money. I said, I get it, man. I understand. But it's at least you are understanding you're getting a sterile, real product. He says, I'm going to get it from an online place. I said, okay, be very careful because there's a lot of scams out there. He's like, okay. So he comes back maybe 2 months later. He's like, guys, I don't feel good. Something wrong. I'm like, all right, let's get your labs test. And he was still doing HRT with us and everything. He was just getting his peptides from some online site. We test his blood and his blood comes back with heavy metals in it. We're like, whoa, a little bit out of our scope. Let's, because we did an extensive test on him. And we're like, you need to go see a hematologist. There's something weird going on with you. He goes to a hematologist. They do some more extensive testing. They find a bunch of weird heavy metals in him, like cadmium, lead, all kinds of weird stuff, and like radioactive traces in his blood. And I'm like, what did you do? And he's like, well, I bought this BPC 157. You know, I'm like, Chinese company. He's like, I don't know. He's like, it was just online. And he's like, I'm like, well, how much did you pay for it? He's like, $45, like $55. I'm thinking in my head, you're going to buy something online for $55 and inject yourself with it. Lunch doesn't cost $55. Lunch costs $60. And you're buying something for $55 and you're injecting it in your body with no data, no verification, no testing whatsoever. For those that are doing that, you're crazy. I'm just going to say it straight up. I'm sorry to be mean to you. If you aren't verifying what you are injecting in your body, I mean, like, do you guys buy supplements like on a random street corner? No, you go to a supplement store. You at least have some verification of product. But you guys are openly buying for pennies on the dollar a medication that you will inject into your body. You guys are out of your mind. That's a huge problem in the industry.
Yeah, that's so true. And everyone like are opening a peptide company now. Like, I'm in Bali, and I can say 3 out of 5 people that I met, like last 4 months, they are either thinking about opening a peptide company or they already have it. So it's just like, and I'm like, okay, because it's a good money. Like, as you said, like, it's because of the money, and people understand like this is getting probably the future medicine, and this is the moment that still not very verified or FDA approved products, they're out there. So this is the best time for opening this kind of gray market online companies, and they want to make the best out of it. So I'm like, okay, so what is your product has like verification, like any testing? And of course everyone would say, yes, our product is very different.
Yeah. They don't know. They have no idea.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know.
Unless you see the lab, unless you are able to visit the lab, unless you are able to visit the pharmacy. So that's what I like about, what I do. And listen, it's more expensive at my clinic. You're not going to get a peptide for $95. It's not going to happen. You are paying for quality and sterility and peace of mind, and you're paying for the medical professionals that are going to guide you down this process. And if you think it's safe to take a peptide without first getting labs, you're wrong. And the main reason why is what if? I'm not saying you do, I'm not saying it's, but what if you happen to have cancer?
Exactly, yes.
Take a peptide that can exacerbate your cancer. Are you going to be okay with that? No. The answer is no. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. So if you're going to get your peptides from a gray market site, listen, you're an adult, you're making a decision, that's your decision. If you're asking me, I think you're not thinking clearly, but at least try to get some verification and get some labs. Just get some labs. Just make sure that
this is the simplest thing. This is like, I don't understand, like, people, they're acting like it's like online shopping. They're just like ordering and get it and just see some videos or asking AI and then injecting them some, like, did you check anything? And I think like some of these peptides, they need to basically check some of the markets, like a special market, not just like a simple CBC or like a checkup like FBS or something. No. You need to check your IGF-1. You need to like check if you have, like, God forbid, like an active cancer. Like, for example, if you want to take BPC 157, let's check it before. But people are just like taking it. I think since the AI usage is getting more, people are like normal people getting a little bit arrogant about like the medical information. They think they know everything. They think they can ask everything. Like sometimes people, like even my friends, they're just like asking me something and I just like give them answer. It's like, yeah, my Claude say that and that. It's like, okay, good. But like, so go and ask your Claude. Like if you think like, it's just like, I think AI is very good in so many sense. It's still good in the medical information. I use Claude, I use AI for my patient as well. But the thing is, each of us has like individualized biology and the body, and like everything needs to be checked for that person. Like, first of all, what's your goal of taking this peptide? Is it longevity purposes? Is it weight loss? Is it energy? Is it focus? Is it what? Like what? First of all, like aim your goal. What you are supposed to go to achieve. And I'm like, okay. After that, let's see what are the options available for you. And after, let's check your body first. Like, let's see the baseline, and so we can measure the data. We need to see data, right? So see if it's effective or not. Like, for example, if you're starting GLP-1s and you don't have like a simple body composition to see like what was your fat percentage, what was your muscle, like to see like how it changed. You want to see the data, but people are just like, no, I want to take peptide because this supplier told me this and that. Like, and I'm like, okay, but whatever I don't know how to explain for people. They think that we as like either medical professionals or like clinics, we want to charge them more. But the thing is, like, genuinely, we want to first help them to get the benefit of this amazing tool, but let's be careful about your body as well, because of course, like I still do believe most of the people, they are getting from this online gray market. I'm not sure about US, but like out of like here, especially like in Asia, even in UK, Dubai, that I know, like these companies exist, they're just ordering online. And some of the suppliers, because they want to make them unique in the market, they are giving them like a protocol used with AI again. Okay, take 10 units, 5 days a week, 2 days off. You know, just like some of them, they are trying to be still like a good, like, and serve people. But at the same time, I don't understand the logic of not even having a medical professional in your, either like in your website, in your consultation, anything, you know, because people, they think they know everything now. I love that people are educating themselves, but it's like, there is a reason someone studied that much. There is a reason someone go to like night shifts and emergency room and see horrible stories, and you are in this field for 20 years plus, and you still have doctors in your clinic, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm not saying that every
like you see patients the doctor is supposed to. I don't see patients, but it's funny, I still educate. You know what I mean? I educate practitioners. I speak at medical events. You know what I mean? But it's not, I think
it's necessary. Yeah.
I'm a patient. That's how I got in the industry. I'm a patient who realized that there weren't clinics doing the proper way of, in my opinion, of doing things. So I got in the industry, I opened my own clinic, and I approach it from a patient perspective, you know? But again, what you're talking about where it's like, well, why aren't they understanding that they should be going to a medical professional? Post-pandemic, the trust factor of medical doctors and the medical professionals in general is so low because of what they saw during that pandemic. I don't blame them, by the way, because you know, what was going on during that time was criminal, in my opinion. And I mean, I don't know if you just saw the Supreme Court, or not the Supreme Court, the congressional hearings with Dr. Anthony Fauci. Did you watch any of that?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. The guy pled the fifth 111 times. Yeah, it's bad. I mean, the whole, like, no wonder people don't trust it. But you know, I think they realize that, you know, maybe doctors are a little bit more. I don't want to say all doctors and all medicine in general, you know, in this way, but I want to at least highlight a couple facts. Medical doctors are trained from books that are not only outdated informationally, this might shock people, I don't know if people know this, but they are written and funded by big pharma companies. Like literally, the medical textbooks are funded, usually through a couple of loopholes, but you can find them. I did the research, and it's scary. They are funded by big pharma companies. So if you think about it, it kind of makes sense. You know, doctors, for the most part, are taught to prescribe. Most doctors aren't even taught nutrition. Most doctors aren't even taught about exercise. Most doctors aren't even taught about lifestyle stuff. And I don't know how it is where you are, but in America, in the West, really, I would say not only America, just the Western countries, even Europe, the average patient interaction with a doctor is 7 minutes.
7 minutes. I know.
Oh, number. Okay, perfect. So, you know, what are you going to get from a doctor in 7 minutes? Hi, I'm so-and-so. Let me look at your chart. Here's some meds. Get out. I have another patient. That's what happens.
Yeah, exactly. Some of them, they don't even do like physical examination. And it's crazy for me. It's really crazy. I know.
And this is why there's trust. This is why there's a lack of trust. And there's going to be, you know. But I think it's important for medical professionals like you, other medical professionals out there, clinics like mine. And listen, I'm not telling people come to my clinic. Like we're the only ones for you. No, we're not. There are a bunch of clinics out there that are amazing, and I'm friends with the owners. There's plenty of clinics to go around. What I'm telling patients and just the general public out there is you need to look at your health from a better perspective. And you need to understand that data is your friend. Labs, okay? Gut health testing, genetic testing, and making sure that you are targeting what you're supposed to target and not just throwing stuff at the wall is so important, especially when you're using a peptide that signals your body to do something. Because if you have a certain disease or genetic factor, or let's say cancer or whatever it may be, and you have no clue, and you take a peptide that is generally safe for everybody else, and you just happen to see it on TikTok, please stop doing that, by the way. You happen to see it on TikTok and you just take it because your favorite TikToker told you to, and now you get some debilitating, horrible issue because you didn't check your labs, you didn't go through a proper medical procedure, you didn't properly go through a check, and you just decided that because the pretty girl or the handsome guy told you this peptide works. Guys, these are injectable medications. Like, this is not stuff to play around with. It's amazing. There is amazing potential with these medications, but please just be a little bit smart. It's not like you're choosing between, like, you know, a vitamin D supplement and a vitamin C supplement. These are peptides that actually can make a huge difference in your body and the way your body functions. Treat them as such. Give them some respect, because they deserve the respect, because they have mechanisms that can make you very, very well, very, very optimal, very, very healthy. But in the wrong situation, they can make you very, very sick. That's what I have to say about that.
Thank you. Yes, exactly. I completely agree. Do you check all these tests that you mentioned, like, for example, genetic tests, lab tests, gut tests, for everyone that they want to start peptide? I'm asking for my curiosity.
Not everybody, not every test like that, but everybody has to go through a basic lab panel. When I say basic, it's not basic. It's very comprehensive. We're testing basically a myriad of hormones. Every initial test from my clinics get IGF-1. They're getting a full hormone panel. Obviously, CMP and CBC, that's everybody. Anybody does that from any normal medical profession. Where we differ is we're checking certain cancer markers. We're making sure we're checking full thyroid, not just TSH, T3, T4, reverse T3, reverse T4. We want to see what's going on in the human body before you have a consultation. Like, we won't even let you have a consultation with us until we have your paperwork and labs. Yeah. So, like, if you want to talk to one of our medical professionals, your barrier to entry is do the paperwork, pay the initial fee, and I don't think it's expensive, $350. Okay, that's one night of going out. So, you know, so you pay the initial fee, $350. You get your full lab panel, probably more information on labs than you've ever had in your life. And then with us, you get a full 60-minute consultation with a medical practitioner who's specifically trained to look at this stuff. That way, when you walk out of that 60-minute consult, you don't, and I don't, like, for my clinic, I don't know how you do it at yours or other, I know other clinics do like memberships and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's basic. For me, it's basically same. It's surprisingly, everything is
beautiful.
Because I do believe this is the right way.
Well, this is how I feel you empower the patient. So if you walk out of the practitioner's office after the hour, you get your labs, you get a folder, you get some suggestions, and you can just leave. And you're off the hook. Yeah. You don't have to come to us ever again if you don't want to. You know how often that happens? Almost never. They're always going to start a program with us if they need it. But here's the other part of it. If they don't, we high-five them out the door and say, keep doing what you're doing. If you want to keep getting your labs done, come back in 6 months or a year and get some labs done. We never push peptides or medications on patients, and I think that's where some of the industry goes wrong. Because I've had younger people come in, 25-year-old males and females come into the clinic. Oh, my friends are on peptides, my friends are on HRT. I want to do it the right way, go to the doctor. They come in, everything is not just perfect, it's optimal. Their IGF is optimal, their testosterone's optimal, they're in shape, they're not holding body fat. And they look at us and they're like, what do you think I need? And we're like, nothing. Keep doing what you're doing, man. High five, get the hell out of here. That's how it should be. I don't want to put you on something just to make $1. I want you to get the information, and I want you to understand that you just helped yourself understand your health picture better. And I hope from our perspective that if we do that for you, that when you do need something, you'll come back to us and we can help you. That's how patient interaction and patient care really should be. That's how the medical system was supposed to be.
Exactly. It's really supposed to be that. And I wish for that. I hope it gets that way and things change, healthcare system get back to the way it should be. Because in 7 minutes, as you said, like, what kind of information you can get from that patient? Like, nothing. It's like it's kind of like symptom therapy. I don't believe like it's like makes you healthy, or take care of the basics first. Like, I will always ask, what do you eat? How is your day look like? How is your movement? How is your sleep? How is the quality? Like, how is your stress level? I also ask about that, like the lifestyle. Some of them, they might go through like a very stressful phase of their life. Like everything, it needs to be individualized. I think rather than just like focusing on the tools, like longevity tools, like peptide, which are amazing. But I also believe there needs to be like a huge educational part for people to be able to take care of themselves and to believe medicine as something individual. I'm a very, like, what I love about AI, using AI in medicine, is like it helps us to approach someone as like completely individual biology, and like help them on the way that they need. Some people,
Yeah.
they might need more working on the lifestyle, less on the tools. Some people, they have already like a good lifestyle, but also when you see the labs, when you ask them, how do you feel, what are your concerns, what are your challenges, or simply they want to optimize their health, so then you can get the benefit of this kind of tools that can help them to achieve their goals. So first, for me, it's like, let's first fix the basic, let's first fix the challenges, the concern, and after that, there is so much to optimize your health as well. So that it's like a open-end journey, if you want to go. Like, if the more you learn, the more you're like, oh, I want to do this and that. Like, and it's amazing. I'm so grateful I'm living in this area and I'm practicing in this area. It's scary a little bit, but it's fun, it's challenging, and I like challenges.
Well, I mean, you're doing the right thing. So that's the main thing. You're doing it the right way, in my opinion, and I applaud you for it. So it's amazing.
Thank you so much. I want, if you have like one message for doctors out there, like medical professionals, that you really want them to hear, what would that be?
Become open to the idea that you were taught wrong. It's very hard to hear. And doctors, listen, I love doctors. I have so many friends that are doctors. My best business partner, my buddy, Dr. Joe Clark, who I went to the same training with. We both got certified under the same advanced BHRT training under Dr. Neil Rouzier, one of the old school guys in hormone therapy. He's very open to the fact that not everything he was told in medical school is either eligible now, or it has been changed, or technology or knowledge has adapted. The problem I see is a lot of doctors are set in their ways. So my one piece of advice to any doctor: drop the ego. It's hard. I got one too. I get it. Drop the ego. Be open to learning, and be open to understanding that maybe your textbook was wrong, that maybe your instructor was wrong, that maybe that medication that you were told was all great is not right, is not the best. Maybe there's other modalities. Are peptides the end all be all? No, it's just one thing. It's just a tool. Are hormones it? No, it's a tool. Longevity medicine, like regenerative medicine, the stem cells, exosomes, secretomes, all that stuff. I do all that stuff. I love it. Is it the end all be all? No. Are there problems with those things? Yes, of course. As soon as someone shows me evidence that one of those things that I am very, very fond of and believe in, that I was wrong, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to tell everybody, I was wrong, guys. This way is better. This way is better. If doctors can just approach medicine that way and just kind of admit the fact that, like, hey, there's always learning to be done. I'm learning stuff every single day. I know you are as well. So, if you're a medical professional, be open to that learning curve, and be open to be open to the fact that you could be wrong, and you could have been wrong for years, but you work with the information you were given. Nobody's blaming you, but just adapt to the new situation. Like, I have doctors arguing with me. Nah, you don't know anything. These people, what medical school did you go to, Tomo? These peptides are poison, this and that. I'm like, bro, just do a little reading. Do a little light reading. Like, it's like you're just completely dismissing it because you're being told to dismiss it. There's a lot of research out there. There's a lot of cool stuff out there. And there's doctors everywhere doing it. Some believe in it, some don't. It's not about if you believe in it. The practice of medicine. So what does that mean, right? You understand as a doctor. Is medicine perfect? No. They call it the practice of medicine because, unfortunately for everybody, it's sometimes trial and error. This might work for one patient. This doesn't work for another patient. This killed this patient. This saved this patient. That happens all the time. Yeah. The whole idea behind medicine, that Hippocratic oath, that oath you take to do no harm, you're doing the best you can with the information you have. Now, if that means doing peptides or not doing peptides, that's a personal choice. But at least be open to the fact that there are new things happening. Study up, guys. That's all I got to say.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I do agree. Thank you. That's a good message. I hope all the doctors that are listening take that to the heart. Let the ego go and be open.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I want to ask you about your perspective about TRT and testosterone. I get so many questions around it, and I want to hear about the experiences of the patients that you had. How do you think, how much it's necessary for people, for men especially, to take?
The way that I think about testosterone therapy in general, I look at hormones as the lifeblood of everybody. So for women, estradiol, progesterone, those are your major hormones. But women also have testosterone therapy, or testosterone, the need for testosterone therapy at a certain point. Postmenopause is an example. When it comes to men, men with low testosterone have and are prone to more health issues. That's been proven. So low testosterone means health issues. Higher testosterone means kind of the opposite. Now, is there a threshold? Yes.
Yeah.
We're not talking about bodybuilder doses, guys. We're not talking about crazy super physiological levels. We're talking about optimal levels. Now, here, ask the question, what's optimal, Tomo? Well, we don't know, because you didn't take labs and get labs from 15 through your entire life. So we don't know what your optimal level was. I know what my optimal level was, at least around 19, because my 19-year-old self tested. So I tested before I ever touched a hormone or a peptide, 19 years old, and my testosterone level was 1,470 nanograms per deciliter, almost 1,500. That's way outside the normal range for testosterone levels in America. The normal testosterone levels in America are between like 3 and 800. So is testosterone a necessary thing? I think testosterone is very necessary for men who have low testosterone due to age or environmental factors. Now, if you are a young man who is not properly eating and exercising and sleeping and doing all these things, and you have the ability and the capability to make your testosterone level higher and more optimal from a lifestyle perspective, you should never go on testosterone therapy. I don't want to see you in my clinic. If you come into my clinic and say, I am sedentary, I sit on the computer all day, I love McDonald's, I don't sleep at night whatsoever, I'm doing drugs, I'm drinking alcohol, no, you're not getting TRT from me. You're not getting hormone therapy from me at all. Go fix your lifestyle, because you're 25 years old and you can fix it. Because once you go on testosterone therapy, sure, you can come off, but once you go on it, you're pretty much on it. That's your now choice. If you're a 50-year-old male, and you just want to feel good and live longer, should you go on testosterone therapy? Yeah, if you want to feel good and live longer. Because if you don't, what's going to happen is you're going to have degradation of every single body process in you. You will have metabolic issues. You will have mental health issues. You will have heart issues. So testosterone, and therefore the conversion to estradiol, is cardioprotective. It protects your heart. For women too, by the way. So you look at all this stuff, when does aging start? Aging starts when hormones decline. So testosterone, absolutely necessary for men and for women. Obviously, they are way different spectrums. Okay. So a postmenopausal woman will be taking like this much testosterone. A man of the same age and the same issues, yeah, we're taking a lot more. That's, men are easy. Men, you have an aging man, you throw testosterone at them, they're gonna thrive. They're gonna feel great. A woman, a little more nuance. You have to be aware that there are more hormones at play. Who knew? Women are more complicated, Dr. Golsa. Who knew this, right? It's just how it is. So even from a hormone perspective, women are much more complicated. We know. But hormone therapy in general, I think that's true anti-aging. If you want to actually stave off the aging process, your hormones being optimal is the number one thing. Forget peptides, forget all the other stuff, forget the red light beds, fix your hormones first.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was very helpful, and I really enjoyed the conversation. Very informative discussion that we had. I hope people enjoyed. And where people can find you?
Yeah, so you can find me at tomomarjanovic.com. That's my personal website. My book is at operationoptimal.com. You can find me on all the social media profiles. Yeah. So you can find me on all the social media profiles. It's at Tomo Marjanovic or at Tomo_Marjanovic. Again, if you guys are looking for a copy of the book, this can ship internationally. If you guys want one of these, tag me in a comment with Dr. Golsa, because we're on the other side of the planet right now. We're literally on the other side of the planet, so 12 hours apart. If you guys want one of these, they're shipping throughout the US, Europe. Amazon has them as well. But if you can't get a copy of this, just reach out to me. I'll make sure you get a copy. But anything you guys need from a perspective of health and wellness, just DM me. I get a lot of them, but I really try to answer the ones that really matter. If you're messaging me some dumb stuff, I'm probably not going to answer you. But if you message me something and it's a real question and I can help you, this is what I'm here for. I love doing this. I love talking about this. This is why I'm here. It's almost past my bedtime, Dr. Golsa. So like I'm here talking to you because I love to get information out here. And I'll be going to bed with a smile on my face and waking up at 5 a.m. and off to the gym and taking a couple of peptides in the morning too. So
Amazing. Last question. What is your personal stack?
Ooh, all right. So right now, I'll give you my. So I'm gonna go home. Tonight I will take tesamorelin. Okay, that's the growth hormone secretagogue. So increase my natural growth hormone. I take that with GHKCU. So copper peptide, to keep my youthful figure, my pretty face, at least somewhat pretty as I age, right, and keep the hair on my head. That's not going anywhere. I am currently taking a run of TB4, so thymosin beta 4. Just for some anti-inflammatory stuff. Elbows flare up here and there, almost 30 years of weightlifting, it does that. And then in the morning, I'm currently taking MOTS-C and NAD. By the way, NAD, I know it's a coenzyme, but it's also a coenzyme peptide, and glutathione. So NAD and glutathione, I think, are two things that everybody over the age of 25, just if you can get them from a clinic and you can get them prescribed, you can't go wrong. It's going to help. It's going to help with energy. It's going to help with detoxification. If you drink alcohol at all, which it's bad, but yeah, some of us like to have a drink here and there. It's fine. Glutathione is your best friend. So glutathione, NAD, those two I suggest for everybody. Literally everybody at the clinics. And we have several thousand patients across the United States. We tell everybody glutathione and NAD are kind of staples. So those are my morning injections. The MOTS-C is just a fun little run, lean out a little bit. It's summertime. Why not?
Amazing. Thank you so much. Where are your clinics located? Where are the branches for people that they are located in New York?
Yeah, so I have one in Orlando, Florida. I have another one in Plano, Texas, right outside of Dallas, Texas. I have two in the state of Pennsylvania, so Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and then one in central Pennsylvania. I have another one opening up in Cleveland, Ohio, where I actually grew up. So Cleveland, Ohio, up in the Midwest. And then I have some opportunities to build one in Nevada, Arizona, Colorado. Someone asked me about California, but I try to avoid California. Taxes are too high, guys. I'm, not even getting political here, just business decision. But the plan is to basically have about 20 to 30 clinics open in the next 3 years. And then we're really looking international from here. So UAE is very, very friendly. That whole Middle Eastern region. I know there's some political stuff and some, bombs dropping over there right now. But in the long term, longevity medicine in the Middle East and in the Asian area is going to be huge. So, Dr. Golsa, where you are, it's going to be a new hub. It's going to be a new hub of longevity.
True. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for all the information. I really appreciate that.
Thank you, Dr. Golsa. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on. I hope everybody learned a little bit of something, and please be safe and be healthy.
Please. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.